Dualies.
This is my mic. We're gonna answer questions.
The
Talk
dually.
about heavy duty trucks.
I have a dually right there.
Dually? Hey guys, welcome to another Talking Truck Show. I am Andre.
And I am Kent with MrTruck.com.
And
Can I just say before we start, that's a great look for you, Ken.
Thank you. I don't have a mirror. I have no idea what I look like.
Are you gonna wear that hoodie the entire time?
I am until the sweat pours out my eyeballs. And we'll do something else.
Guys, we're very happy and hyper today for several reasons. We're talking heavy duty trucks, which gets us excited in the first place. But of course, there's more. I have a surprise that I haven't told Mr. Truck yet, so I'm gonna surprise him on camera in the middle of the show.
You're not a male?
What?
No, I don't know what the surprise is.
No. It's I'm a guy.
You're a guy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that goes. That
no, but
secret.
let's hit some news. Then talk about heavy duty truck questions. And the main question we're talking about: do I really need a dually for my job, or can I go about it with a single rear wheel truck or just a 3/4 ton?
That's a good question.
Yes.
And I have the answer.
Yes. Well, you have all the heavy duty answers.
I hope so.
Yes, and then we also will rank the towing ratings on all of the latest trucks. We're talking about 2019s and also 2020s.
I took my smart pills this morning, so I'm ready.
What?
I'm ready.
Okay. So let's start with some of the questions, or actually some of the news that came out recently. And as always, thank you guys for joining. Well, there's previous week, there's some news about FCA and Renault merging. But now the deal is off. FCA has backed out. They were going to create the third largest company in the world by combining forces and selling all kinds of vehicles across the world.
I thought Nissan backed out.
And Nissan had an issue with it. Also, there was an internal lawsuit within FCA, which was interesting about compensation and also the way they report sales. There was a controversy going on within FCA itself.
I do want to point out the two aren't necessarily connected.
No, but it came out on the same day.
You know, we could be consultants. We could go over to headquarters in, was it Auburn or someplace?
Sure, Auburn helps.
And we can help them out.
Yeah, or we can go to France and help those guys too.
Yeah, let's go to France. Donald's over there right now with the celebration of the 75th anniversary of the boats and the hill.
D-Day?
D-Day, yes. It's a big
so
celebration
FCA
right
merger is not happening, at least as of now. As of yesterday, that was the news from yesterday. Today, there's more news from General Motors. Mark Royce, who is their executive vice president of the company, has again reaffirmed that GM is doing an electric truck.
Yes.
So GM is still serious about this. This is according to Ward's Auto report. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of things happening in the electric space, right? And GM is developing a platform that they can build multiple types of vehicles on.
Oh, cool.
Yes. Is there a question?
Well, there's already questions in here.
Yeah. Do you want to address one of them?
Something about the chicken. Oh, yeah, they just rolled up there. What's the one about tongue weight? It just rolled off my page. You see that? The guy's asking me
Mr.
about
Truck, at what tongue weight
dually.
on a fifth wheel or gooseneck do you typically feel like a dually is warranted? Mountain Bob is asking this question. And this is actually bringing us into the next segment. But hold on to the question just for a couple minutes.
Certainly.
Just for a couple minutes, Mountain Bob. Thank you. But here's the thing. GM has promised us several electric vehicles. Several years ago, they laid out a plan that they're going to have many, many electric vehicles. And they said, wait 18 months.
Who said that?
GM.
Oh.
But as of now, the Bolt electric vehicle, EV, Bolt EV, is the only electric car they have. And it's been 18 months. GM, where are the other cars and trucks?
Yeah, I know Jeep did something like that. They announced Jeep's electric engines in the future.
Plugins, plugins and all that
future,
stuff. But they're still driving towards that goal. They want to build electric vehicles, including trucks, which is really good. Finally, there's news from Ford today, actually spy images of a Ford. And this is a very peculiar vehicle.
That is.
So we have a separate video about this mule test prototype on this channel, TFLnow.
I think it's fake news. It's fake news.
What's your take on this? It's a two-door Raptor.
Those drive shafts, of course, the front has a CV joint in it, not a universal joint. So That's possible to do that.
Independent front
when you get
suspension.
something really short and it's jacked up like that, that means the drive shaft has quite an angle to it. That's why I don't think, if they divorce the transfer case like a Highboy, Roman talked about that, they need to come out with the Ford Highboy again.
Yes, they
and
do.
that could be something that's edging that way.
Yes.
But those are gigantic tires on that thing. Barely fills the fender well's almost full of tire. I don't know. I think it's just one of those things they play with.
Very peculiar prototype. It's a short wheelbase, really, really short wheelbase, two-door Raptor. So the question we're trying to ask, because we don't know exactly what's happening, will there be a two-door Raptor? Or is this the platform for some other vehicle?
Yeah,
like a full-size Bronco.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a market for a two-door Raptor. Do you? Do you think that there's?
I don't. Especially in this image, it just looks cartoonish.
Yeah, you're not going to sell that to the wife. She can't put the kids and her in there.
No,
that ain't going to work. She's the one who controls the checkbooks. Remember that. The payments come from the old lady, not from the driver. So get that stuff figured out.
So the other thing, if you show the front of this truck again, it has that big aluminum bumper-looking thing. And manufacturers use this device on many different test vehicles.
Right.
And they can mount outriggers, basically big bars that go to the sides, and they can test stability control systems.
Sure, there's a lot to be said for mounting a Raptor.
Yes, and mounting on the front of it too.
Oh, yes.
So you can mount outriggers, test your traction control and stability control systems. So they're testing something. We just don't know quite what that is.
Yeah, it's top secret.
So let us know in the comments what you guys are thinking.
Well, it's not exactly top secret since it's not camouflage, but people are saying that Ford's kind of faking everybody out.
Who's calling? The government is
somebody
calling
from
you?
France just called me. I'm going.
Kent's a VIP here, so he has to always be available.
Yes.
Wow.
Somebody from France just called Mr. Truck. I think it was a Renault executive.
I think it was.
So that's kind of the news section. And quick break to talk about the hoodie, the wonderful hoodie that Mr. Truck is wearing.
Yes.
We have a limited run of 100 hoodies. We already sold several. And they're $1.99, so if you donate in the super chat here, you can get this hoodie that all of us wear in the videos also. And you don't have to wear a hoodie part. You can put it down. It's going to be signed. It's a limited run.
This comes down?
Yes.
Like a convertible.
We really do all wear it, even in June.
Oh, that is cool. But you know what? You can even buy this one. I will sell the one right off my back.
Wow. So as always, we appreciate your donations. It is a donation, but we're giving something back to you guys. And the microphones we're wearing new mics.
Can you hear me?
We bought
Hello?
these things using the donation money that we have.
That's what we need because this is a very expensive project we're in the way, and there's a lot of people working here. So, yes, appreciate all those donations.
And we have to keep his red cup full.
Full of coffee.
So that money has to go somewhere.
You can talk about the stickers and all that stuff too, or did you already talk about that? I don't pay attention when he's
Joey's
talking.
cleaning lady said that Carl's Gozen was just calling you collect from jail.
Is he? Yeah. Oh, yes. That's why there was a 1 in front of that number. Now I know.
But you hung up on him.
I know.
That was his only phone call.
I know.
So I have a surprise.
Somebody was standing behind him. I don't know what they were doing.
Guys, I have a surprise. Jay Chimpo says, how do I get the shirt that Andre is wearing? You don't want this shirt.
Oh, this one is, look at the dirt on it. He rolls around in it.
This is an old school TFL shirt that I've been wearing for 5 years, and I've been sweating. You don't want this shirt.
I've seen you in one of those commercials with the dating
I have a surprise for Mr. Truck. So last several days I was very busy.
Oh, don't tell me you got that.
And I went
You cannot do it that fast. You can't do it that fast. I bet Roman $1 million you couldn't do it that fast.
It's a permit.
Oh, it's a permit.
Guys,
Does
show
that mean
people.
Wow, look at that.
So guys, I don't want to unveil all of my private information, my address, but this is a commercial driver's license permit.
Permit. So that means you've taken the test?
Yes, I took 3.
You passed all those tests?
Yes, I passed 3 commercial.
Did you take the air brake one too?
Yes, and it thanks to a lot of people here, like Dan Atkinson, who gave me books to study. I studied the books. I looked at the videos.
Wow.
I passed the general knowledge test.
Wow.
I passed the air brake test, written.
Wow.
And I failed the combination trailer test.
You can take another one though. You
Yes,
take it over.
and this morning I went back, passed it, and got my permit.
So are you allowed to do 3 trailers like my permit says, or my license?
No, I don't have a
Multiple?
multi-trail.
You don't have
I don't have a
multi-trailer?
multi-trailer endorsement. But
Wow, an
now,
air brake.
what does this mean? Does this mean I can drive a truck
Do you have
when
to
you're-
drive with me? Is it with an adult?
Yes,
Oh.
yes. Adult? Dude.
Okay, so you can drive with me. I mean, when we go to Chevy, you won't have to stare out the window. You will actually drive one.
That was my goal.
But I ain't going to
Yes.
switch. I'm not going to give up. You're going to have to sit in the middle.
Money.
Money. Yes.
But,
That's exciting. Congratulations. I'm excited
thank
for
you.
you. I didn't think you'd do it this year. I really didn't.
see, guys, it was a
I
surprise
guess-
for Mr. Truck.
I guess I
and
owe-
I did surprise him with this, and it's really exciting
I
because
owe
we're
Rome
driving
a lot of money now.
We're driving 2020 trucks. Trucker Den says $5.
Wow.
I got my hoodie and they're really nice. Thank you guys. I have my class.
Class A,
Congratulations.
CDL.
Oh, Class A. I'm sorry. So my name is not Andrea. I'm still a man. So Andre is my,
I thought that was a surprise.
Andre is my name. Not Andrea.
Is that what it says on here? Is Andrea?
Why is everybody calling me Andrea? Joshua, please. I'm not Andrea. Okay, so let's move on. Some
Yeah.
questions here because the main topic of this show is should I buy a dually or not?
Yes.
Yes. So first question comes to us from Bradley. Can I avoid buying a dually to tow my travel trailer? And listen to this. Bradley has a very particular truck. It's a 1-ton single rear wheel 2007 Ford F350 6-liter diesel.
Yes. And
6.0. And he's done a lot of work to it. Replaced head gaskets, EGR valve, oil cooler, new radiator hoses, new tires, fitted heavy-duty shocks, rear airbag helpers, rebuilt the transmission, and put in a fifth wheel hitch.
BMW companion. Yeah. And I'm surprised that yet their transmission was the strongest part of that truck. No, actually, those 6-liters, they were actually decent, but you got to make them bulletproof. You got to do head bolts. I mean, I don't know. He doesn't say how many EGR coolers he did or EGR valves. I replaced about 6 of them on mine.
Yeah, 6 liters
And
not a
oil cooler,
very.
yeah,
it's the least reliable diesel that
and
they've had
hopefully when he
recently.
replaced the head gaskets, he did those big bolts because they have different
So
bolts.
he
for
wants to
those.
tow a 43-foot Jayco North Point RV trailer with up to 17,000 pounds.
Yeah, now that seems like a high on the weight. I don't remember that 6-liter being rated to tow that much weight.
No.
Did you ever look it up? Because that sounds
back
higher.
in the day.
Yes.
Back in the day, all the ratings were lower. We all know this.
Right,
And,
yeah.
So even
That's
though
12 years ago.
Bradley, even though we've updated and fixed your 6-liter, when you're going to put so much stress on it with 17,000 pounds, I'm just afraid that's not the right truck.
Right, and you know, too, the 17,000 on the new one could be rated. That'd be right at the high end of a single rear wheel. But how often are you going to tow? Is he going to tow a lot or a little? If he tows a little,
Are you going 10 miles or 1,000
yeah.
miles?
I mean, I would do the single rear wheel 350.
Yes.
If you're going to drive it a lot, I would like the dually. But you see, the thing on that too is the single rear wheel 350. They wedge it, so it's not like a dramatic different suspension.
Ride
on it.
quality?
So
Yeah.
they actually ride rougher than a 250 does, and they're very similar trucks. So you know, that's the thing too. If it's loaded all the time, you're not going to notice how bad it rides because it's preloading the springs. But yeah, I would say single rear wheel if you're just using it 5 times a year, 4 times a year. If you're going to use it a lot, go with the dually. I mean, you know, and you're going to lose some fuel mileage with the dually. That's just how they are.
Yeah, well, can we get back to Mr. Mountain Bob's question?
Oh, I didn't know.
Mountain Bob is in the chat room.
Oh, okay.
He said, what tongue weight would you recommend going to a dually from a single rear wheel? Is there like a threshold where you say, no, you got to go dually?
Well, there is, but it's also in your owner's manual. You got to know what each individual truck's rating at is. So for me, I mean, if it's, and then talking gas or diesel. Was he talking gas or diesel?
No, Mountain Bob just says, is there like a threshold in my mind?
Okay, then you got to have more information because a gas can be different than a diesel.
Yeah.
And
I
go
kind of
ahead.
have a hunch.
You have a hunch?
Yes.
Where you go
So-
between a single rear wheel and a dually?
So
On tongue weight.
a 3/4 ton truck. We recently had an F250, right? You also had that black truck, right?
Yes, gorgeous truck.
It had a payload. It's fully loaded, diesel, beautiful F250. Its payload was only about 2,000 pounds.
Yeah, that was kind of weird for that
So,
truck, but it's a super
but-
loaded truck, and that's
But it's
why.
because of all the options.
Right.
And the diesel engine is heavy, and the panoramic sunroof, leather seats. It's got all this stuff going on, and it takes away from the payload.
Right.
Obviously, you can't really tow a gooseneck trailer with that.
No,
You
right.
really
and
can't.
that's the number you got off the sticker in the
Yes,
in the
that
door.
was on that
It was
particular
2,000.
truck.
Okay.
It was 2,050 pounds.
Then that's accurate information.
But we've also tested XL trucks, base trucks, right?
Sure.
With payloads up to about 4,000 pounds,
Uh-huh.
right? So I would say if you're going, like if your trailer tongue weight or if your payload is about 3,500 to 4,000, you're maxing out that 3/4 ton. Typically, you see what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, 4,000 pound payload equals what in a trailer? If it's a 10%
If
to get
it's
to
20%, well,
20,
for a gooseneck.
oh, if it's a gooseneck,
Yes.
okay, then you just 15%
Times 5.
SAE or go 20
So that's
like I do.
about 20,000 pounds or
Yeah,
less.
yeah, yeah.
So-
And that's actually a pretty heavy trailer.
It is for a 3/4 ton.
But a single rear wheel could be rated that high. But yeah, that's so you're saying your threshold would be 4,000 pounds.
I would say 3,500 pounds.
3,500 pounds, maybe 20,000 pound trailer, which is pretty
Yes,
heavy trailer.
that's my threshold for a single rear wheel. Anything
on
above
a
it,
diesel. We're talking about a diesel
sure.
because
Or
the gas. Well, I don't know if the gas would hit that. It wouldn't hit 20,000 pounds.
But
the
I'm just
trailer.
saying generically. I know every truck has unique payloads, right? We need to look this up for you guys. But typically, I would say if it's over 3,500 pounds of payload or tongue weight, you really have to think about a dually. If you're under that, I think a single rear wheel or a 3/4 ton truck would work.
My threshold would be 4,500 to go to a dually.
Another donation.
Okay, that's my opinion. It's
45?
So I'm 1,000 pounds more than you are.
You have to be always more than me.
That's what she
So
said.
James Kilburn, $5. Thank you, James. And
Cool.
I'm gonna put your
James.
name. I'm gonna put your name on the board. So, do you want to go to the next question, or are there other questions in the chat room, Zach, that
Did
we should address?
Did we miss some in the chat room? I
We-
don't want to miss
we-
the good ones. I mean,
There's a lot of questions here.
okay.
And we have that 6-liter.
No, just comments going back and forth on.
Well, somebody's talking about the V10, the V10
Yeah, I saw
gas
that.
engines in the Fords,
Yeah, it was a good
which are
engine. That
going
was
away actually.
Big ambulance engine
For
and
2020.
Yeah, that was a part of the controversy when those first came out. They had aluminum heads, and people would try to change spark plugs when they were hot, and of course it warped the heads and all that. So you had
Yes, sir.
issues in the heads on those for a while. But
People, one commenter is asking what the number on the bottom left part of the screen, the counter we have going there.
Yes, that counter is the live counter of our subscribers. So we always appreciate your subscriptions, and we just put it there because it's live, and you can kind of see it in real time and see how it progresses. So
You really got me excited about this. You having a CDL. How many days did it take you to get it? Because I figured you'd need 2 weeks. Did you do this in like 2 days? I mean, you only had to take one test twice. That's
yeah,
good.
I had to go back because I failed one test.
Was it 3 days? How many days did it take?
So one morning I passed 2 tests and failed once,
Okay.
and I failed the combination test so badly they told me to come back another day.
Okay.
And then
Well, that happens.
I
It's
went
tough
directly
test.
from there to urgent care facility for my physical.
Oh, I thought maybe you got hurt taking a test. But
No,
okay.
I was still healthy.
Okay.
But the DOT physical exam I had to take.
Okay.
So I did that. I passed with flying
You know,
colors.
our favorite gas station, TNA, does those tests. You don't
I
have
was,
to go.
I was scared.
Okay, go
I was
ahead.
scared to go to a truck stop for a doctor appointment. I was scared. But, and then the next morning today, I went and I got this, and it's a paper copy,
Well-
and I'm getting a real thing in a couple days in mail.
Wait a minute. That means you took the driving test.
No, this is just a
They
permit.
give you a permit without taking a driving test?
Yes.
Well, so you can drive trucks even though they've never seen you drive a truck with a trailer?
I've driven trucks.
I know you don't know that, but they don't know that. That's weird that they give you the permit to drive
It's
things
okay.
that. Okay.
But only with adult supervision.
I'm there
Yeah,
for you,
yeah.
buddy.
All
I'll
right.
be supervising you.
So, Cody.
Speaking of which, before we get to that, Dan Atkinson, who just donated $5, said, yeah. Nice. Says, congratulations, Andre. I bet Mr. Trek will have you drive him everywhere and call it practice.
Yeah, let's do that. I'll sit in the back and take a nap. This will be good.
Yaz donated $1, so thank you, Dan.
Oh, yes,
And thank you,
that's
Yaz,
good. Yes,
for
awesome.
your donations. That
Awesome.
Every little bit helps. We always appreciate that.
And
Thank you.
Bonnie Chuck was asking how much did it cost to get your permit in
Oh,
Colorado?
it's 100 and something.
Well, that's a really good question. So first of all, I got a gift from Dan Atkinson. He gave me a couple of books to study, so that was free. But the cost of the book is what, $15 maybe?
Yeah, I've got one of those somewhere.
Then I did a bunch of online video courses, and then I did practice tests on my app, which is free.
Okay. Yeah.
So that was all free. My physical exam was $85, and my actual permit, the paper thing, was $18.
Yeah, I figured you're over
So
100 somewhere.
I'm like $120 in if you figure the book and other stuff.
And then you're going to pay another $80 to do the driving test.
But I need practice.
I know.
Are you going to charge me for letting?
No, we'll go out.
me-
We'll go out and get a 6-pack and go drive around.
What?
No, I'm
Specific-
kidding. We will not be drinking unless it's
Six-pack of
unless it's
coffee.
Dr. Pepper. Anyway, but
Yes.
oh, go ahead.
Fred Jeep also donated, has a question for us. Why are trucks with the front bench 6-passenger seating so rare?
Well, I don't know that they're rare. It's my favorite seat, and a lot of them have the middle part that folds down for a armrest and all that, or folds up for a seat. Those are actually pretty popular. Especially in the work truck section, because they don't really have a regular bench in the front. Maybe they do on a XL. I don't remember seeing them on an XL. I think they're all got a 60/40 seat where the middle one folds up and down.
Fred Jeep makes a good point. Usually those triple seat up front, that middle seat is really kind of a penalty box. Because it doesn't have a lot of legroom.
Thick, right? But
so maybe for a younger, maybe a child or something,
Yeah.
or a smaller person could sit there. But I agree, I want more of those options.
Right, and on the Ram, they have that little tool tray down there you got to take off.
Yeah.
And I've always had my grandkids say, but seats for 6 is a big deal with me, and I screwed up in this last truck and have seat belts for 5, and we're always needing 6.
But I would say, I think you have to kind of order them separately.
Oh, yeah, here's Chris.
Chris,
Whoa! I can't hardly control this guy.
Chris to charter $1. So thank you, Chris, for donating. I think people usually order those trucks with 6 seats, and dealers usually don't stock them. That's my feeling.
I've seen them in a lot of dealerships, but at the end of the year, like when I go out and try to get the hail damage, 0 inches crap, there's hardly any crap left. But if you went out there and say August, there would be some.
And mostly like lower trim levels, right?
Well, XLTs.
XLTs?
There was I mean, I let 2 of them go by before I figured it all out. But yeah.
So here's another question from Cody from Oregon. Do I really need the one-ton truck to safely haul a small slide-in camper? So he's talking about a truck with a camper actually in the bed.
Right.
And he wants to live out of this vehicle and go across country.
Yeah.
And he wants to go a little bit off-road with this vehicle. So he kind of wants to build his own overlanding rig and also have it good for snowy conditions. So he's saying he found a slide-in camper that weighs about 2,500 pounds.
So I'm going to say that that's a pop-up style, because I don't know if a hard size could weigh that low. Most of those are 4,000.
Right. Remember, I had one.
Yes, you had a pop-up. So that's what it sounds. And there's a lot of good pop-ups out there. I really like that one, that Outback one made in Colorado.
Yes.
And that's where if you're going to pull a trailer with it, that's a good way to go, because then you're not using up all your payload on the camper. Because those campers can get terribly heavy.
Yes. And he's looking for at a Ford F-350, but he says he will consider other trucks or other brands, but he wants something to handle the weight, go off-road, and actually have an overlanding rig. He says, do I need a dually? So first of all, off-road, no, don't do a dually.
Not 2,500 pounds. That's there's so many good pop-up campers that are in that range that I really like. Yeah. Then also they drop down, so you have a little better fuel mileage. You don't have this giant thing back there. And then side wind, if you got a big hard-sided camper, a side wind makes you lean most of your trip.
Yes.
They're terrible, but if you drop it down, it's much more aerodynamic. I like the idea.
Boney Chuck makes a good point. He's talking about 2,500 pounds dry weight, so not fully loaded.
Yeah, but how much? You're right. But I mean, how much water and propane you gonna get in a little camper like that? Not a whole lot.
Right. They don't have big tanks. Mine had about, I think, like a 30-gallon tank.
That'd be pretty big for one of those. Yeah.
30 times 8 is about 250 pounds. So yeah, you could probably add a couple more 100 pounds with water and other supplies. But because of your off-roading thought, I would get a 350, like you said. Or like we were talking, maybe a 1-ton single wheel short bed.
No.
Short bed.
Not for 2,500. Even if it goes up to 3,000, do you really think that means more than a 250?
He wants to go off road. He can't have a big long truck.
No, 250. Not 250 feet long. An F250 instead of an F350. I'm saying, why do you need an F350 for 2,500 pounds?
Well, we just talked about it because if
we're talking about a dually. Is that what we were?
Yeah, but remember the F250
that's his
black
two
truck.
choices.
No,
yes.
the black truck
that was 2,000 pounds.
Had really low
That's
payload.
right. That's because of all the crap that was on it. But
yes.
if you would have got that in XLT or an XL or a XLT,
yes,
that one you probably could have got that. I see what you're saying there. Yeah, on that truck, that loaded truck didn't have enough.
Right.
But I don't think it'd be that hard to get a 250
But I would
with a
recommend
3,000-pound payload.
I would recommend a shorter bed.
Oh, that's fine.
Because
That's
as soon as you get an 8-foot bed with a crew cab,
Yeah.
all of a sudden your truck
Oh,
is
no.
22 feet long.
No, I never say anything about an 8-foot
Yeah,
bed.
yeah.
I understand
because
that.
dualies come in 8-foot beds, usually, right? Almost always,
Yeah.
except for the Ram Mega Cab, you have a really long dually bed. So I would say single rear wheel,
Yeah.
short bed, and you'll be fine.
And you're saying a 350. Okay.
Well, I want him to have a heavier truck. I want that.
Okay. A 350 is going to ride a little rougher, but yeah. I mean,
But
that's
he's
fine.
loading it up with weight.
Well, a little bit of weight. Okay.
So
okay.
yeah, so that's Cody's question. And finally,
We had guys talking about a gas engine too.
Chad. Chad is asking us a question. Actually, this is kind of a visual question. Do we have the chain hookups that Chad is asking about?
No.
So
I
Chad's
don't.
question is, I have a 2.5-inch receiver Ford, brand new F250, and I am having trouble hooking up my chains underneath the hitch. That it's not long enough. What do you guys use? Well, we use several extensions, right?
Right. He talks about that on there. That he emailed me, and I said use that chain style,
Yes.
which we have almost all my trucks now, all your trucks,
Yes.
because especially if you use much of a hitch, like we use those Gen Y hitches, and with the cushion coupler on there, they get pretty long. You need, and I've noticed even on Cimarron, the best trader in the world, they have too short of safety chains. So either get a longer safety chain if you know what you're doing, but we have different traders, different trucks so much that we just use those big chain extensions. I guess I should have brought one in and showed you, but you want one that's rated high, rated similar to what the chain weight rating is. But that's how we do it. And I have also some quick hooks that we use. Holy
90,
cow! 19. Oh,
Michael Rachel, or Rachel, do you think the Ram Renault merger will happen?
No.
No, the answer is no. So we went over some of these news earlier in the show, and today there was an announcement that FCA is actually backing out of it. There was also an issue with Nissan not liking the merger.
Reportedly.
Reportedly,
Right,
this is all
right.
reports, and it's not happening.
now back to that last question about his 2.5-inch receiver and the chains. That's because, and we just leave ours on there. We don't take them off each time. We do have ones that are spring-loaded hooks. We have all
Yeah.
kinds of gadgets because you have to have something. Because if you change vehicles very often, change trailers, you're not going to fit the short distances there is. But he's talking about that 250 receiver. You know, my thoughts on a 250 receiver, if he's using a 2-inch and needs to reduce it,
Yeah.
it takes 4 hands.
Right.
We've proved all that, and we've had our discussion with Ford about that. Why don't you put a lip on it? Because everybody else has a
Yes.
lip, so you just slide it in
have
and
to
go.
have an adapter,
And one
yes.
person can do it. So
Yeah.
the Ford, I'm hoping that later on, I've seen them on some Fords, but a lot of them don't have it. But the GM and Ram did have it, so I'm hoping Ford does it on all of those reducers. You got to have a lip, especially when they go from a 3-inch on the dually down to a 2.5, down to a 2. We want lips on everything. Lips are good. That's what she said.
Wow.
So anyway,
I was just
that-
reading. I was just reading a data question and data thing, and you were talking about something.
I'm sorry. So
Interesting.
Go ahead, ignore me. I'll just sit here and drink my coffee.
So to close out the show really quickly.
Oh, you got a whole bunch more stuff to cover here.
Well, we don't have no time. It's already
A week.
31 minutes.
There was a question left from last week we were going to cover too. Remember what that was? It was about a Renegade or a Gladiator. Remember that, Zach?
Oh,
There was a
Gladiator
question from
Tacoma.
last week that we didn't get to cover.
Gladiator.
You said we're going to cover it this week.
Zach is ignoring us.
I know.
No, our producer. It's okay.
Ignore me.
It was a question about. Oh yeah, that wasn't anywhere near me.
Wow.
It was a
Jeez,
question about the Gladiator Sport S versus the
Yes.
Toyota Tacoma, which is the better buy. That was, I believe, Monday's show where we answered that with.
Oh, you already answered it.
Yeah.
When I wasn't here.
Well,
Yes.
what's your take? Toyota
No,
Tacoma or
it's all right.
Gladiator?
Doesn't matter. Oh.
What's your feeling?
Which one's better?
Which one would you buy for 35 grand?
Tacoma.
If I gave you.
I would have to get a raise the seat in it and put a hole in the roof so I can sit
So
in
wait,
it.
you
but-
don't want a convertible top and go just into
Well,
the wild?
Jeeps this first year. I mean, I know you guys are crazy about Jeeps. Everybody's buying them left and right, but not the first year for me,
Yes, Zach.
dude.
So people are talking in the comments, again, on the news of the FCA Renault merger, which companies should merge next. And actually, if you guys want to talk about that some more, we will be talking about that tomorrow in a live show. So come back tomorrow, 4 p.m.
Because I won't be here, but go ahead, talk behind my back.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not an industry analyst, so I don't know which two companies.
It's purely speculative,
Yeah.
of course, but
Yeah.
based on our experience and what we think might happen, I think it'd just be a fun conversation to have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we were going to have a bunch more conversations about the HD.
Well, let's bring it up. Yeah, let's talk.
Okay.
Let's talk briefly.
Oh, did I tell you that one thing really is so cool about that new 3-liter diesel the GM's coming out
But
with? We'll
let's
be
do
driving in
lightning
2
round.
weeks?
Lightning round.
Okay, what's that mean?
That means quick, like 1 minute topics.
Okay.
Tell me.
Okay, on the 6-liter new 3-liter inline 6 GM Duramax in the 1500, it's the same price as the 6.2 gas.
Yes, it's good.
That is news.
They're
That
very aggressive
That
on their
makes a
pricing.
diesel finally affordable because most diesels are almost unaffordable.
And we're
I
driving
love
it in
that.
2 weeks.
And it's
No, but you
4
told
different
me-
models get the diesel, not just the top end.
And you told me something else too. You told me it has a really high red line.
Well, yeah, it goes clear up to 5,100 RPMs. That's like blowing the thing up. That's amazing.
Guys,
You wait till we get up there. I'm going to wrap that puppy open until it blows.
Guys, let us know what you think about this. And of course, we're going to talk about it when we drive it. But it is a truly high red line, 5,100.
Right, and another thing on the heavy duty side, you want to talk about that next week?
Yeah,
Week
let's go.
before? Okay, next week or now?
No, now,
We're
now,
now.
now.
Okay, that new heavy duty Duramax, same power, same torque, same everything on the engine.
Yes.
They added 4 more gears, and all of a sudden, magically now it can tow 12,500 more.
Yes,
Same engine,
it's-
same torque, all that's the same. So just 4 gears allows it to tow 12,500 more. It goes clear from 23,000 up to 35,500. Is that possible?
Yes,
4 gears can do that?
according to GM, it is possible. That's what their 2020 trucks are rated at. And it's not just the engine or not just the transmission. It's the frame, it's the brakes, it's the chassis, it's the suspension. Everything has to handle that,
I'm
right?
just talking about acceleration. I'm not talking about stopping. I mean,
But they said they used the J2807 regulations
Yes,
and
that's-
standards.
that's very interesting.
But then Ram guys said that they had a running start.
Okay.
Like a 5 mile an hour.
quick, your
start.
lightning's slowing down.
Okay,
Next thing.
okay,
next
lightning,
thing.
lightning.
Next thing. Okay. Now we know on the short bed now it's no longer. It used to be a 6'6", now it's 6'9".
Yes.
So it's growing, but they moved the ball 2 inches backwards, so it's 2 inches behind the center of the axle. So we'll be driving those in 2 weeks. We'll see if it floats, if it's stable. We'll know. Now in the long bed, it's 2 inches in front of the axle. So you got a differentiation there. I really want to see how that controls. I'm hoping they're right. I'm hoping the stars are aligned, and that 1-2 inches behind the rear axle tows wonderfully. We'll find out because I'm really curious about that.
Okay.
Okay.
Next item.
Oh, that was most of my lightnings. That's.
What's the 360 thing?
Oh, that's that really cool camera we put on the back of the trailer and one behind the front of the trailer.
Oh, the see-through.
And it's X-ray. Yeah, it's like X-rays through the trailer and you can see
Yes.
behind you. That is so cool. It makes the trailer like transparent. And that's wonderful. I want to play with that. I think
Okay,
that'd
so
be
we will
cool.
be playing with that on June 17th and 18th, so stay tuned for that. Heavy duty trucks are coming, so we'll be doing videos with that. And I think on that note, can we close the show unless there's something burning? All right, so I'm gonna fire up the music.
Something's burning.
I'm gonna fire the
No, we're
music.
fine.
Thank you guys, as always, for joining.
I'm so excited about the CDL thing. I'm so excited. Man, but you... that is cool.
Is that good?
You got it done in 3 days.
Yeah.